Coming up next, SPNN's Neighborhood News. Hi, I'm Sherine Onukwuwe. Welcome to SPNN's Neighborhood News. On this program, we interview district councils and we go out in the neighborhood and find out what people are talking about. St. Paul has a history of strong community and neighborhood participation. The district council system is a big part of that. There are 17 councils, each representing a different area of St. Paul. The district councils are independent organizations, but they do get some funding from the city as well as other sources like grants and donations. Much of the work being done by the councils is done by volunteers, community members, who want to participate in the life of their neighborhood and their community. On today's program, we talk with representatives from District Council 4, 12, and 15. Stay tuned. We're here talking with Jesus Ramirez, an organizer in the Dayton's Bluff area, as well as Deanna Abbott Foster, who is the executive director of District 4, District Council 4. Welcome.
Well,
Hello.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Glad to be here.
Hi. I want to just talk about the responsibilities of a district council so people really understand what district councils do. And then if you could also talk about the area, what defines District 4, Dayton's Bluff area.
Well, district councils are part of 17 organizations that are throughout St. Paul, and they are under contract. They're all nonprofit organizations, and they're under contract with the City of St. Paul to work with civic engagement and district planning issues, including engagement of residents around economic, housing, and other issues that impact communities, in particular crime prevention, and we work a lot with city departments and with the police and other things. Many of the councils also do other work that gets funded from other places, and that is true in District 4, which is the Dayton's Bluff Community Council.
Okay.
Now, Bluff, basically Dayton's Bluff is on the bluff above the downtown St. Paul. So we are primarily south of the Phelan corridor and generally go out to Johnson Parkway and to the borders of the city to the south, which includes Mounds Park and that area on the other side of 94. So it's all along 7th Street, East 7th Street, and places south.
Okay.
Graphics are, there's a lot of different cultures that are here that make up what is Dayton's Bluff. Currently, we have 60% of people of color that are in this community, and they range anywhere from the Latino community to the Hmong community to our Black community to our white community. We have quite a bit. We have now a Somali community, we have a Korean community, and it goes on. And the makeup and the development of the community itself seems to be constantly changing, and it's really, really exciting over here right now.
What would you say? I'm a former resident of Dayton's Bluff, Wilson Avenue, where I used to live. And I'm wondering, what would you say that the identity of the community is, rather than, the cultural makeup, but what would you say the feel of Dayton's Bluff is?
Changing. That's what I would say. There's a lot of history that's hung on a long time for the whole east side. Dayton's Bluff used to be the location for 3M, the 3M headquarters. So there's a lot of history in particular among generational East Siders. So Dayton's Bluff also has a historic district, so we're very, very interested in the history of the city of St. Paul and preserving historic buildings. And then in the last 20 years, and in particular in the last 10 years, there's been a huge influx of new East Siders. And they are people of color, and they don't have the same connection with the East Side history, but they're actually creating the future for the East Side. So I would say that we are a changing community, and that is both our strength and our struggle.
Yeah, and if I was to give it another word, would be tiawi. Tiawi means to move forward, constant change, without surrender or without turning back. And so what we're seeing right now is the makeup, as Deanna had mentioned, there's a lot of historical feel to this area. But right now, with the influx that's happening and the constant new change that's happening, there's an emergence, a beautiful flower that's blossoming on the east side right now, that we're able to see the different petals of that. And so there's a lot of energy around in that right now.
Okay. Well, if you all can talk about some events, some exciting events that you have coming up in this month and next month, particularly Jesus, I think you're working on Art on the Block. If you could tell people what that's about and what it involves.
Sure. So it's Art on the Blocks, plural, and what's basically trying to do is change the narrative or the current dialogue that's happening about the East Side right now. There's what's currently happening is that we need more young people to be out there doing some positive construction of what's happening in their own community. And so what Art of the Blocks is doing is utilizing art as a catalyst to kind of change that narrative and to be able to display the civic engagement that we would like to see our young ones be part of. And so in order for us to be able to do that and have them partake in something, they need to be able to experience something and participate in something that's going to be able to be engaging for them, something that they're able to want to construct and be part of. And in addition to, it gives to the experience of to the larger community where they're able to see them doing something very positive in the community. So art is that catalyst right now. And so what we're doing is there's multiple projects that are going on, one of which just finished with Battle Creek Middle School and Harding High School. The next one, which will be starting on June 25th, running through the middle of July, around July 10th, we'll be doing another project at Margaret Park. And at Margaret Park, we're going to be doing some murals that's going to be in conjunction with Seventh-day Adventist Church, and as well as Parks and Rec at the Margaret Park location. In addition to that, there's another project that will be starting up in middle July to about mid-August with Dayton's Bluff Rec Center, where we'll be working with youth as well. And so what this does is it brings out, whether it be a mural on a large canvas or whether it be an actual permanent fixture that's in the community, it's discussing and creating that dialogue or creating that discussion with the young people, trying to see what the theme is going to be about, whether it be civic engagement, whether it be cultural identity, whether it be the violence that's happening in our communities, but it needs to be identified. And once that's identified, then I'm able to utilize art as a way of being able to move forward that discussion with the young people. And so when that happens, then you're able to inject or at least plant the seeds for another way to be able to respond to the certain situations that are happening in our community. So that's currently what's happening right now. Those are those 3 projects that are currently planned out for this summer, but I'm expecting at least another 2 more.
And what do you see the impact? You talk specifically about art. Are you yourself an artist? I should have asked.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. I have been doing art now since junior high is when I got my first chance to I got a chance to meet a mentor, and a mentor was able to walk me through some steps. And then before you knew it, they were able to identify some ability in myself, I don't know where, but they identified some ability, and before you knew it, I was given the opportunity of which I want to now give on to other young people. And that was a chance to be able to show my art and be able to actually make an income from my art, and then be able to do so in a positive manner. And so when I was given that opportunity, I knew right away that it was my responsibility to be able to offer that back to the community.
If you can talk about what you think the importance of, businesses developing in a neighborhood add economically, and just, to the attitude of the community. I mean, because when you think about cities, that are struggling or facing their own unique set of challenges, like Detroit, or somewhere where maybe there's not a lot of development happening, how do you think that impacts the community's attitude?
Well, when a business district in a community seems to be dying, that is a huge message to the community that the community is dying. And so it's like a megaphone announcement every day when the main streets of your neighborhood are not lively and filled with growing business. So that was really our thinking, that if we could liven East 7th Street, which really had been abandoned in so many ways, and yet when we looked, there were actually many businesses, most of them minority owned and operated, that were being ignored. And so that's why we put together this idea of really highlighting businesses and highlighting business growth. And we actually applied in 2012 for a Neighborhood Star program grant, and it was called A Million Will Make It Happen on East 7th Street. And that indicated we asked for $500,000 from the STAR program, and it would be matched by private investment of $500,000, and so it would equal over $1 million of investment, capital investment on East 7th Street. And we're in the middle of that. That program started in 2013, so we're kind of midway, and we have a number of projects that are very exciting, coming together with local businesses. There are a number of minority businesses who are getting the opportunity to buy their buildings, so that as it grows and the economy gets better, they actually will be able to benefit from owning their property and being able to stay in the community.
Great. Before we go here, I see the sign on the back of the wall, Market on the Bluff. Jesus, could you tell us briefly a little bit about what Market on the Bluff is?
Great question. So Market on the Bluff is happening on Thursdays from 4 to 8, and it is happening right next to Metro State University. And really what it's about is really supporting the local vendors, local artists, to partake in a good experience where we're all gathering in one spot and be able to share their commerce and be able to share their good experience with the other community members that are being able to shop locally. Deanna had just mentioned right now how to support your entrepreneurship, and if you have local businesses that are faltering, you need to create some time of space in order for those local members to be able to partake in some kind of enterprise. In this particular case, it's a farmer's market, and in addition to it being a farmer's market, you have wonderful crafts that are being sold there as well. Did you want to add anything, Deanna?
Well, we haven't talked about the farm products because they haven't gotten out of the fields yet, but in June there will be a lot of farm products also there. This is only our second year for Market on the Bluff, and it traditionally takes about 3 years to actually get a market going, but we have access. We take EBT payments and credit card payments, and we also have what's called market bucks, which means that if you have an EBT card and buy $5 worth of produce, you can get an additional $5 matching for free. So it's really trying to get locally grown healthy food into the houses and the mouths of our local residents.
Thank you so much for joining us here at Neighborhood News. If you could share with us your website in case people have more questions.
Yes, well, we're very excited. We're launching a new website as of June 20th, and our website is www.daytonsbluff.org. Visit us for great news.
Come visit us.
Thank you so much. Good luck with your projects.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a minute. That's it for this month. Thanks for watching.